Right, I think I've got to number 5, have I? Some army examples of historical writing. Can you see the notes in the gloom out there? Are you all still awake? Well, some of you are still awake. All right. Do you want to stand up and sing a chorus and have a glory march? Oh, good. Right. Now, that would go down in history if we did that. A glance at some army examples of historical writing. Let me now glance at some varied examples of the recording of army history. I will mention core history books, then the biographies and autobiographies of army generals, and then finally my personal habit of keeping a journal. Core history books. I purposely highlight these records, core history books, because too often they receive, in my view, insufficient attention from historians, and also because we're in some danger of neglecting to maintain them these days. They are local history. There is an immediacy about the contents of core history books. They are written by local people, not those of high rank or with explicit expert training, and they focus on local matters and local people, the day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month life of the army locally. I hope with all my heart that we are still taking seriously the need to create these grassroots contributions to army historical writing. I want to say that we have a duty to the future to record local events with fidelity and detail. Some corps appoint a corps historian. That's good. And some corps officers and other officers at other centres keep the corps history book or the centre history book current and up to date themselves, and that's fine as well. Now, when a corps or centre closes down, we need to cherish the history books from bygone years. And sometimes they will be lodged, and this is what should happen, with the nearest Army Heritage Centre and be made available for research. It doesn't always happen. Now, what I'm going to say next will betray my age. Hard copy handwritten records with ancillary documentation such as programs for special meetings, funeral orders of service, marriage programs, etc. are the best. These days, some history books are kept electronically, but I'm yet to be convinced that this habit is in our best interest in terms of preserving a record of our life and work. I'd be glad to have reassurance on this, and I'm open to being persuaded, and some here might know more about this than I do and want to contribute later in the evening on that point. What I'm about to say now isn't in my paper. There has been, in the last 10 or 15 years, an attempt made to have departments at headquarters, divisions and at territorial headquarters and at international headquarters, made paperless. It's a naive hope, a paperless department. I've been on the receiving end of dealings with one such department when we served in Pakistan. And every time we wrote to the relevant department, it was obvious that they were not reading back through the file, because they responded as though this was the first time we'd raised the matter when it was the 21st time. And that was exceedingly frustrating. And we knew that the persons responding to us on our territorial business, had they had a hard copy file in front of them, they'd have been able to go like that and see what was the last missive from the territorial commander or the chief secretary. But they had to do it electronically, and some members of the department didn't know how to do that. Now, that left a poor impression on me, but maybe I should not judge the whole of that drive and impetus by that solitary experience. But it did go on for several years. I found it very frustrating. I've been in boards and tried to conduct boards which were supposed to be paperless. And I found that the board members simply hadn't done their homework and couldn't contribute constructively to the discussions. They should have brought paper copies of the materials with them. And putting them up on a screen in the boardroom is no substitute for having your own annotated stuff in front of you. We're going to need paper for quite a long time. That's my gift of prophecy coming out. Now, right, okay, I've got that whinge off my chest. That's not written down. Nobody can ever accuse me of having said it.